Hi, I'm Talya, and this is Victoria.
Hi!
And we are two Tweedledums Thinking about our recent high school experience, uni apps, and life ahead of college. We're recent IB survivors, and we want you to survive it too.
So today we are going to talk about how to build relationships with your teachers, and we're taking this from our experience, so this will be like a very story time
with
based.
the Tweedledums.
No, there'll be lots of stories here because like the previous episodes have been very
Anecdotal.
yeah.
No, I mean this episode.
Oh yeah. The previous ones have been very content heavy, so we just wanted to tell you fun stories that we've experienced. And I guess like the reason why I want to talk about this is because, as we said in a couple of episodes before this, there's such a big importance of teacher recommendations in your university applications.
Yeah.
And of course, like you don't just get close to your teachers just for that, but
Please don't exploit your teachers.
Please don't. But they're so useful in giving you so much insight for your personal development, for basically like anything outside the classroom.
It's just nice to see their perspective on certain things as well.
Yeah.
Especially, I guess sometimes you think, how come the teachers aren't doing this or aren't doing that? And then to have a relationship with a teacher and see why those things are the way they are is also very interesting.
Yes.
And it's just
And you just
nice.
Yeah, and you feel so much more supported.
And you just feel so much better than your friends.
Yeah, because they are missing out. So today we're just gonna talk about 4 teachers. We can't talk about all of them. That we've become quite close to, or like that have been very impactful in our lives. And there's so many, but we can only narrow it down to 4.
Yeah, so do you want to start off and then I'll
Okay, sure.
build on the story?
Alright, so the first one will be our drama teacher. And I think it's because we've known him for 4 years.
I think he's the person who kind of told us to make a podcast.
Yeah,
along with his wife.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you. Shout out to you, that drama teacher that shouldn't be named.
Yeah. So he used to teach us in drama class in 9th and 10th grade. And in 11th grade, he was my supervisor for my extended essay for literature. And honestly, like throughout the whole time, he's also been a supervisor in our extracurriculars, whether it be our drama productions or teaching teaching grade 10 drama. So he's just been with us through everything: academics, extracurriculars, personal breakdowns, everything. I even came to him for like my university essays, like for some advice. Ew. So yes, and I think the way that we've that's been very successful is the fact that we first had him as a teacher in a subject that wasn't so scary, like a subject that wasn't very.
It is scary.
It is scary in a different way.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, well, I guess like when you think of drama, it's not as like scary and like chapter by chapter as, for example, physics.
The thing is, I guess because it's our school's first official drama class.
Yeah.
All of us were kind of new to it, so the teacher was also still trying to figure stuff out, and the students were obviously figuring stuff out as well. So we had that sort of thing that we can relate on.
Yeah, we're learning together. And so I think because that class was also an elective arts class, it felt like this escape from all the other very serious subjects that we had, like physics. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. But yeah, and so from that, working in drama claess, especially because we have so many rehearsals, like even outside
And
our
I think our
allotted
humor
times.
just matched.
Yeah, our vibe just matches.
Because do you remember when he pushed me to the ground?
Huh?
Like,
this doesn't sound good for them.
Okay, so we were doing Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh.
We were rehearsing the scene where Claudio pushes Hero.
Yeah, and then like you were over
This
dramatic
person,
about it.
The person who was playing Claudio was kind of hesitant to push me, so our teacher pushed me, and my reaction was just so dramatic that he actually thought he hurt me and he started freaking out. And I think that broke the ice in a more personal way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after that I felt more relaxed and I was open to being slapped and pushed and things like that. So I think
by your castmates, not by your teacher.
So I guess my teacher also found that slightly exciting, I guess, that a student was willing to do that as well. And so we were able to build that sort of trust with each other.
Yeah. I guess like seeing him outside classes, like, you know, crashing into his room, like during break times or lunch times.
Yes.
And you remember when we went on that trip to Europe for...
Such an iconic trip.
It was so
fun. We even got our drama, what's it called? Mascot.
Yes.
From that trip.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think like seeing your teachers in an informal setting kind of breaks the idea that they're stuffy old people. Not that they're old. I mean, like, they're totally young.
Totally.
But like, you know, like you start to realize, oh, you are a human being. You have humor.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You know,
Yes.
and you get to know, like, you know, you get to hear stories of, like, for example, how they were in high school, or they talk about, you know, hey, so like when I was in college, oh my gosh, blah blah blah. You know, like you get to learn
He
from them
said,
as well.
don't spend all your money buying Mountain Dew and don't drink way too much Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Advice.
life advice.
Yes.
So yeah, I think for sure with him specifically, because most of where we meet him is outside a very rigorous academic setting. And I guess maybe it's because like we enjoy drama too, so I feel like other people wouldn't agree.
We're the only ones that actually care about it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, but like even when I was working with him for my extended essay for literature, it was already like a pretty chill situation because we already knew the way each other thought about literature, about plays and all that, so we were able to be on like the same frequency, even about serious subjects. So
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I guess it's okay that we're very comfortable with him because he's fine with that too.
Yeah.
It's not, so when we call him, for example, bro or something, it's not in a disrespectful manner. He actually encourages that. And it's an inside joke in a way, like with his son and things like that. But of course, if I explain it, you guys aren't going to get it. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But just, it's okay to have a more casual relationship with certain teachers where you can kind of insult each other, but kind of laugh about it, and it's not in a rude manner. But don't take that as a sign that you should do that to all your teachers, because it won't turn out good for you.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
Read the
Not
teacher.
from personal experience. Of course.
Yeah. Read the teacher's vibe and get to know them for more than just like that particular year. You know, like our relationship with that teacher has spanned like 4 years now. Even though we're no longer his students, because we still keep in touch. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then we're moving on to our next teacher, and Victoria knows her from a club called Speak Up.
Yes.
And I know her as my history teacher. So Victoria, do you want to explain?
Yes, so she has been my club supervisor since I was in 9th grade. I honestly never had her as my teacher in the class, so my perspective of her has been more of like, you know, this motherly figure. We do
call her Mama Blank.
Yeah, Mama Blank.
As we discuss certain things.
Yeah, and like I feel like over the years, because I'm comfortable with her in like a club setting outside when she's like serious in her classes, I'm able to know her personality a bit better. And of course, like the first time like I was in the club, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so scary and like very strict. And like I was only in 9th grade, like I mean, come on, she was like a history teacher for 11th and 12th graders.
She's intimidating, but not because she's scary and mean, but it's because you want her gives off this sort of energy where you really want to respect her.
Yeah.
And you just know how intelligent she is, so you want to treat her like a queen.
Exactly. And like, so over time, she's, as I became the leader of that club by 10th grade, I got to work with her a lot more. And I got to know what ticks her off, what makes her happy, you know, how she works and how she is as a person. And I've gotten to, I guess, trust her a bit more because of that, with personal things that I tell her. So there are several times when I would just come into the room and like I would say, hey, can we talk? And I would just, you know, give her like break down and ask for her advice on things that are going on in my life. And of course, the reason why I did that was because I saw her as this sort of wise person. And, you know, because she's like this very respected figure at our school, you know, she definitely knows what she's talking about. She's been through it all. And so, of course, that comes down to reading the person.
She's very understanding.
She's
That
very
helps a
approachable
lot.
too.
Yeah. You would think she's not approachable, but really she is very approachable.
She's like a mom, really.
Yeah. Well, do you have more to your story?
I guess like I'll give it to you.
Okay, so for me, I knew my history teacher first in grade 11 because she taught me history in the DP program, so I had her in 11th and 12th grade. And at first, I was absolutely intimidated by her for the reasons that I've already mentioned before. And so I was very quiet in her class because I was afraid that I would sound stupid or that I would say something that made no sense. And I guess the boys in the class were very loud and they knew lots of facts, quick facts, so they would just kind of answer more trivia style questions far more easily than the girls. Whereas I think the girls knew more how to analyze works and to read and understand. But of course that doesn't really come across in a class discussion maybe. So at first it was very much dominated by the boys and I was scared. And she even told my mother, I think in the first parent-teacher conference, that I was very quiet in class, and my mom was absolutely shocked because no teacher has ever told her that before. And
wow.
yes, so I guess I didn't know how to go about it because I always passed by her room and she has a different looking room than other teachers, and looked at the older people in 11th and 12th grade and thought, wow, that's so cool, that's never going to be me. And then of course it was me and I didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
And so I guess as she became the supervisor for my extended essay, I talked to her more often just alone, not in a classroom setting. But it was still related to academics, so I guess there was still that sort of formal sense. And it wasn't until the pandemic started, actually, when my dad got sick with COVID and was hospitalized for a long time, that we kind of got closer because she reached out to me and told me she was praying for me and my family and would always check in on me and my progress and was totally understanding if I needed a break from doing some of my work or if I just couldn't really handle or cope with the stress at the time. And I guess we texted back and forth quite a bit from there, and because the pandemic has been going on for a long time and that sort of relationship has been going on like that, I've just gotten a lot closer to her and it's so lovely. And she left this year to go back to her home country and I'm so sad and I'm gonna really miss her, but I hope I see her again someday.
Same.
Yes.
Oh,
You take an emotional break.
All right,
Okay.
so I'll fill that
Anyway,
break.
yes.
And the next person that we're gonna talk about, she is a very lovely person at our
She's
school.
very bubbly.
Very, actually.
Yes.
So she never taught me, but like somehow she always knows what I'm up to, which sounds kind of creepy, but
Not in a creepy way. She's
Yeah.
in a caring manner.
she in a very caring way. So she's never taught me, and yet like she knows my name, and she could easily ask me,
You're
"Hey,
very famous at our school, Victoria. It's not surprising.
what do you think?"
Lots of things and you're everywhere.
I guess so. But like some teachers just don't care, right? Like she
Yeah.
takes the time to care, right? And I
Yeah.
was just surprised. I mean, I'm sure she probably gossips with other teachers, and that's why she knows things, maybe. But I was just surprised.
And again, gossip's not in a bad way. We like it. We stand.
Yeah. And so she always came, like, I always saw her as this, like, caring, fun auntie type
Yes.
thing.
That's such a good description.
Right? It's like
Yeah.
that fun, young,
She gives those vibes.
yeah.
I think vibe should be a word that we kind of.
Yeah.
It's a theme. It's a running theme in all our podcasts. Honestly, we say it so much.
Yeah.
But it's very important. And I guess for me, so she is my math teacher, and she taught me for a DP math. So I had her for 2 years, and she's honestly just a huge ball of energy.
She's a gem.
Yes, she's a national treasure. Um, Yeah, she's just a lot of fun. She cares about us a lot. She lets us talk in class. She always knows who's friends with who, so she pairs us up that way.
Yeah.
And you don't ever really need to ask. She acts like she's going to ask you, but then really she just pairs you up. And she doesn't care if you're not really doing math for a bit. So if you want to catch up about your personal lives or whatever,
Yeah.
she encourages us to talk and to gossip in class.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in a way where it's like we're not learning math, obviously, but it's so cool that she remembers stuff that you told her even a year before.
Yeah.
So for example, I told her about something like before the pandemic started, and then she checked in again on the last week of school about that same thing.
That's so cute.
And I just thought, wow, you remember that even with all the other crap that has happened and taken place since then? Like, that just shows that she cares about me and her other students so much. And yeah, I guess, again, like all the other teachers, you kind of have to just read their vibe. And
Keep using that word.
Yes, but it's a perfect word. And figure out what they're comfortable with or what they kind of want from their relationship with you.
Yeah.
And go from there. Yes.
Yeah. And so, like, okay, the last teacher that we're gonna talk about, he doesn't have.
Sorry, I feel like
He doesn't have, like, you know, as universal of a vibe as like the previous ones. Like,
I just
okay.
need to mention it for myself.
Yeah. So like to Talya, this teacher is awkward, but to me, I'm like, I don't know. He seems fine. Seems pretty cool.
He's a good teacher, but I just.
He's an amazing teacher.
Yeah. No.
What? He's not?
No, he's a good teacher to me. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
Not all his methods are good for me.
Okay.
But that's not a reflection on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just
Yeah.
teachers are like that. But really, I just can't. And whenever I have to talk to him, sometimes I ask Victoria to talk to him instead. It's, like, obviously not when it's just a personal project that I have to do, but if we have to do group work, I always go, hey Vic, why don't you text him or email him this? Yeah.
Yeah. No, because, okay, once again, it comes down to vibe, you know, because, like, he may vibe with me, but not with Talya, and that is totally fine.
I have nothing against him as a person. It's just that I can't feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, like, here's the thing, like, you know, you don't need to be BFFs with all your teachers. Like, I'm not as close to this teacher as I am to, like, the previous ones. But, you know, it's nice, like, for me personally, I enjoy my conversations with him. Although sometimes, like, I get bamboozled by his comments at times on my essays because I'm like, what? Like, he's so big brain. What am I? I'm small brain. But
He made you feel illiterate, remember?
yes, he made me feel illiterate, but in a good way. Because I guess, like, I just vibed with the way that he was teaching, and it just suited my personal development in his class.
Yeah, I guess I just don't really know how to read him. I don't know how to interact. Because
Really? He's
don't-
very readable.
No, he's not.
Maybe because I just know. Maybe because, like, I have, like.
No,
maybe if I was a teacher, maybe I'd be like him.
Yeah, because I can imagine that. That's so not my, like, style. I don't know how to approach him.
Maybe if he was like an 18-year-old
I can't
girl,
tell
you
if
could
he-
vibe with him.
That's just stupid. I don't want to think of that. No, but honestly, I can't tell if he's judging me, if he's not judging me, if he thinks what I said is intelligent, if he thinks what I said is the dumbest thing he ever heard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
That's
like,
fine.
that's fine.
It's just that I don't want to.
You just don't want to know.
I don't want to know. I rather just have Victoria know stuff, and then I
Yeah.
just get her tea. Yes.
Yeah. No, cause like, okay, I guess with him, like, I mostly talk about like school stuff or like intellectual stuff, and it's nothing real. Like, I don't really talk about anything personal with him because, like, I don't see him much outside class. But it's just nice, I guess, to, you know, cause he's very big brain, and I feel like I got more big brain because of him.
Yeah, because I guess for me, like, I had him since 10th grade.
Yeah.
Then you had him since 11th grade.
Yeah.
Like, the difference was so big. Like, I vibed with him totally in 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I think I just wasn't ready for him to suddenly become
Evil.
like, evil, but
harsh.
stricter and more harsh, because I remember in one of my first projects, or maybe the first two, in 11th grade, he actually told me he was disappointed in my work.
Oh, right, you told me this.
Yeah, in the comments, and it wasn't like he told it to my face. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was pretty much like very straightforward.
Yeah.
Whether he said this is not as good enough or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that, like, I'm already over that, but I guess in a way I just don't know where we stand in a personal way.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I admit, I dread seeing his comments, but I also am excited. I don't know how that makes sense. But, like, because he teaches me in, like, several classes. It's not just, like, one. And so, you know, I'm excited to see his comments because it helps me know if I met his expectations or not. And when I do meet his expectations, I have like a mini party for myself. But, you know, when I don't, and I get a bit stressed out, but then after that, I'm like, okay. Yeah, a mini crying session. But then after, I'm like, okay, phew. At least I know what I need to do because I appreciate his very harsh honesty.
Okay, no, because like for me, his feedback isn't specific enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his feedback is very general, but then straightforward.
Oh.
You know, he's like being blunt, but in a general way. Whereas, for example, like the history teacher, she's very blunt, but in a very specific way that I know exactly, in this sentence, that sounded odd. Even though she's not, she doesn't tell me like in junior school, you need to change it to this word, obviously.
Yeah.
But then you know exactly where to go, whereas I can never really understand whether I'm interpreting his comments in a correct way or not.
Oh.
That's where I feel rather odd.
Okay. I just ask him. And
the thing is, see, back again, I can't.
Back again, you can. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just like, especially if we have the video call, there's nothing wrong with him or his face, but like, I guess I just feel uncomfortable with how he looks in the camera.
Talya, that's not. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
Not in a creepy way. It's just that
people's Zoom faces aren't as.
Yeah, it's so close up that I don't know where to look.
Yeah. Yeah, you look at their face, dog.
Yeah, obviously, but I don't know where to look on their face because they take up the whole screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, I like to sit far away from my camera with the background shown and stuff, so people aren't alarmed.
Yeah. All right. Totally. I understand that.
Anyway, guys, this was just a funner, kind of more relaxed story time.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't
cover everyone
who these teachers are necessarily, but really to any of these teachers or all the others that we did not mention,
please
no hard feelings. We love you. Thank you for everything you've taught us. And
sorry for disappointing you. I'm sorry, but yeah.
But anyway, guys, we are
two Tweedledums Thinking, which
we know it seems contradictory
to what Tweedledums are.
But honestly, we are outliers.
Why are we doing it like that? Okay, so those were our stories for the day, and we hope we got you thinking. Of course, you know,
in this episode, not too much.
Not too much, obviously. So please listen next time again. Don't stress out your teachers by like being over friendly, by the way. We do not condone that. Read the vibe. So yes, my name is Victoria.
And my name is Talya.
And this is Two Tweedledums Thinking.
See you Tweedledees next time.
Bye!
Bye!